Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of What's Hot. We're here with Sam and Roger, and I am Mike, of course. So we have a lot of new baits this week, a couple new pieces of clothing we'd like to show you, as well as a surprise item for the very end of the show. Big surprise item. But first we want to talk about a lure you've never heard of because no one uses them here, which is why we started carrying them, of course. So let's hear it for Roger's own Voodoo Baits.
Yeah. So Mike made the poor decision of letting me make an order at the last show we were at. So this is how we ended up with Voodoo Baits. I just love them. They look great. Bunch of different sizes, colors you don't see all the time. They're made from TPE plastic, so very stretchy, kind of like Z-Man. So we have Voodoo Shads, 4-inch. Yeah, 4-inch, 5-inch, and 3-inch. These are segmented baits. Even got like a little bit of mesh in between the segments there to help keep everything together better. These are not all the colors we have. We do have more than this.
Yeah, so he was saying they come in 3, 4, and 5-inch. You know, you hear 3, 4, and 5-inch, and it makes you think lots of different things because really the profile of bait and all these things makes a big difference. So their 3-inch, I feel like, is more of a true 3-inch, which is great because it kind of fits more in our pickerel, snakehead, bass world. Still would be good for rockfish, but it really fits nicely in that. As he was saying with the color thing too, like just a couple, you know. Not that it's that big of a deal, but everybody makes the same patterns all the time. So like this mummified minnow, it looks really good, and you don't find it anywhere. Even the chartreuse on this is actually chartreuse scaled, so I kind of like those
they're
type
all
things.
A little bit different.
You can tell
detail everywhere.
Exactly, and you can tell they're nice coated, chemically sharpened hooks. So they also have great hooks on them. So I think the profile and the color patterns are really what kind of tilted us toward these, and Sam's going to show you some more of that, or even more of that, our wheelhouse of those in-between baits that are going to be great snakehead, bass, pickerel, perch, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of different baits they've came out with. These little eels are going to be awesome. They call them the Voodoo eel. Like, look at that color. You're never going to see that color from another company. It's super unique. They come with a really tiny paddle tail on there. Now, you might be mimicking eel, but I could also think it's a really finesse paddle tail. It's not going to have a big wide thumb, so you're going to be able to fish that when the water gets really cold. Pickerel are going to love it. And that super cold water, you know, mid-February kind of deal there. Moving over here, they have the mullet, the Voodoo mullet. Once again, segmented bodies, colors you don't normally see. A purple with a bunch of flake in there, and then a chartreuse tail, which everybody loves a chartreuse tail. Once again, these ones, though, do come with a treble hook on the mullet on the underneath side. That comes in a 4-inch and a 3.5-inch. Once again, that in-between size you really can't go wrong with.
You know, and if you're trying to mimic a snakehead destroyer, I mean, that's what we're really looking at right here. But since we do live in a shrimp world, I mean, we got to talk about the shrimp because we actually are carrying 3 different SKUs of shrimp in an area that has no shrimp. That's what we're talking about, but that's how good these look. So let's talk about them.
The shrimp here, the shrimp is kind of what made Voodoo popular. Down south, they use these a lot. I've been hearing about them for a couple of years in some of the forums I look at. Voodoo shrimp are super popular down here, but the action on these with the segmented tail is just kind of super unique. Most shrimps aren't going to have that segmented tail section. Colors are great, come with a good hook, good weight on there, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah, so they come in, he just had the 3.5-inch in his hand, which is more of a 3. The 3.5-inch rattling one we have here, that's a hot one.
And then the big 4-inch here.
And I think the big thing to note is we all kind of, you know, you're trying to mimic what fish are eating, this and that. But the reality is it's just like creature baits with bass fishing, right?
Exactly.
They're not really what they eat.
No.
But when you have enough little limbs going like this and that, the action's what they want. So I think what a lot of people are finding is a lot of these shrimp type baits really work great for striped bass, they really work great for snakehead, and they really work great for regular bass up here because of the actions you can get off these baits. So again, it's more not that we really think that, you know, shrimp are the ticket for all these fish. It's really that the actions and the way we're going to be able to fish them are going to be different than the other lures we have, and it's going to be things that'll cause strike fights. So now, of course, I feel like every week we're just addiction baiting it. We're like, what's Daryl doing in his basement is basically the name of the episode every single week. So let's see what Daryl's doing in his basement for perch and crappie.
These things are super duper sweet. If you haven't seen the videos going around Facebook on these are awesome.
Yeah, they do look good.
Little chatter baits, but it's super small. Crappie, bass, perch especially. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that, especially as that water starts to heat up in the springtime. I think they're going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I love those little fat football heads they have on them too.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Another thing I love is most of the time when you get a small jig, you get kind of a weak hook. You can see that's a stout little hook. If you hook into a pickerel or something, it's not going to bend out on you. looks chemically sharp and super duper sharp.
Again, Daryl knows what's going on in that
He
basement.
does.
Yeah. So we also have a couple new colors. We got the crawfish pattern now and the splatter and the thumper. So that's really unexciting, but I'll just throw that out there. And then from the depths of the basement, I'll call these the catacombs. That's what exists underneath the basement. So when you go underneath the basement, you end up with double buzzbait clapper with a springed weedless hook. So this is meant to, I'm not holding this right, it'll come down for me, but basically what this is meant to do is you're meant to put on, whether it's a paddle tail, your little jerk bait, you're going to be able to weedlessly rig that again on your double propped buzz clapper bait. So that's just a really great bait. We love the weedless plastic. So I think taking a buzz bait like this and rigging it, or having it rigged that way, is really cool thing. So that should be good. And then what's the other one we got here?
These inline spinners they're coming out with now, they're super long. If you want a big bait profile, you have 4 inches here and then another 5 inches on this bait. You're hunting for big fish, and I mean you really can't go wrong with the profile, white, chartreuse, and then the blade on there is always going to help. They have a really kind of unique way of the weight on there.
Yeah.
It moves around. It also rattles. And I noticed when I bought one in the tank, it does rattle, which can't hurt. And it just looks great. It's got that really cool skirt that Daryl uses. I don't know what it's made out of. It's like a different material, but it really has a lot of pulsation in the water, which is ideal. What you want with a skirt is that pulsation. And they do a great job at that.
Fantastic stuff. So we also have a couple wonderful new shirts from Salty Crew. These are their tech hoodies. This has a nice mahi and other fish print on it. Super lightweight. They actually do feel really nice. And this one has like a camo pattern on it. So that's some nice t-shirt stuff. And then of course our piece de resistance is the Muzzy bow fishing kit. So the reasons this is wonderful: A, you can use it to bow fish for snakehead. B, if you're someone like me, it doesn't break the bank and it comes with everything. That's the key, is it comes with everything.
It is ready to
If
go.
someone said, hey, here's a bow and you can put all this stuff on it, snakehead, I'd just be like, no, that's way too much work. There's actually 200-pound line on this. There is actually a bolt and an actual fish arrow on the whole thing. So these also, I think MSRP were somewhere around $350 to $400. So these are $279, which is a great price point for these. Limited in stock, but again, carp, snakehead, and snakehead. You're going to want to snakehead this. Snakehead. So that is, I think that's pretty much it for this week's report. So thank you guys all for tuning in, and thank you, Roger, for the wonderful egret bait selection. So
You're welcome.
I think that'll conclude today's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out online at anglersannapolis.com for all our other episodes, events, and that's it.
And that's all.
That's all I got.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.